Hello and welcome back to the program. I am once again your host, Joe, and we're going to start off this fun little playthrough of... Is it Super Mario World? Certainly looks like Super Mario World. Welcome! This is Dinosaur Land. In this land, we find that Princess Peach has been kidnapped. Go get her back. See, it looks like Mario World, doesn't it? And they were certainly trying to make Mario World. What I discovered the other day on Twitter was a ROM hack where some folks tried to reconstruct Mario World based solely off of their memory. And we'll see how they did. The music is a little bit wonky. I don't know if they were trying to remember the music too. But yeah, this is what we've got. It seemed like a good idea to play. You know, Mario Maker is still there, of course, but you know, this is always fun. It's sort of the classics. It's only sort of a classic, because again, whoop, it is merely the best approximation of a classic that they could come up with. I guess we'll be seeing if we can spot any differences. Admittedly, it's been a while for me for this game as well. I don't know necessarily if I'll be able to pick out what's different. I can't even believe that just happened. Whatever. I'm used to being able to get a whole lot of air off of a spin jump on something. Okay, so I don't know if this is me being accustomed to the way it plays in Mario Maker, more so than the original Mario World. Because this game has to have the same sort of controls as Mario World. I mean, it's made from a Mario World sprite. It's made from a Mario World ROM. Basically, since it's not exactly legal to distribute ROMs of a Super Nintendo game, what they do is they release a patch for an existing ROM. And if you're like me and you have a legally obtained copy of the game, well, you can apply that patch to that and play it. So it is using the base game's engine, just it's made some changes. It shuffled around some assets, it's got clearly different music. We are continuing and saving. Yoshi's house. Let's check it out. It's a little house here. Hello, I'm not at home at the moment. I'm off to rescue my friends that have been captured by Bowser. Signed, Yoshi. Always like the 4 colored birds up top. This is, of course, I'm recording on the day that my furnace issues have finally been dealt with. We have heat again. If you've been following my Twitter for the last month, you know that I have been without heat or hot water since the 5th, which is absolutely intolerable. Chuck, fuck off. He fucked off. Yeah, and it's actually quite illegal. Violates certain bylaws in HRM that state that you have to be able to maintain a temperature of 21 degrees, I believe, inside the house. And obviously with no working furnace, that wasn't happening. But of course, the main thing that we were most put out about was the lack of hot water. Basically, yeah, you don't want to shower in ice water. I was dunking my head under the... I would basically start the shower. And, you know, then I would shampoo my hair and, you know, then I'd rinse it off. Just my head. Oh, there goes Yoshi. God, what a mess that was. Yeah, after 25 days, 25 full days of no heat, no hot water, in November, they finally got everything sorted out. We had a handyman come in at one point to try to fix the problem. See, there was... This whole thing started out when we had routine furnace cleaning happening. And this is the sort of thing that you should schedule every once in a while. Just because you never know. Something might have happened. Even still, your furnace might just, you know, function better if you clean it every once in a while. And so, you know, the landlord scheduled for the furnace to be, you know, cleaned, have some maintenance done. And the dude from Irving came in and he was like, okay, yeah. There's a big problem here. Turns out there was a massive gaping hole. No? Massive hole in the back of the furnace. In the back of the chimney, rather. So the heat from the furnace was blowing directly onto drywall, which is a fire hazard. And not something you want to have happen. And so, you know, he was like, alright, I'm not starting this furnace back up because, holy shit, your house will burn down. Oops. Yeah, like, best case scenario, the house would catch fire. Worst case scenario, we would, like, die in our sleep from carbon monoxide poisoning. There's really no good way for this to turn out. So yeah, he was like, you gotta contact the landlord and get the chimney fixed, and also, you know, the furnace company these days requires that chimneys have what's called a chimney liner installed, which is essentially a pipe that goes from the furnace up the chimney to the outside. And the reason why they want that is because oh wow, that was terrible on my part. I completely missed that tape. The exhaust from a furnace will eat away at mortar, which is what happened here. Basically, over like the 40 years that this chimney has been in use, the mortar like just was eaten away sufficiently that, surprise, it was... Oh, that's not supposed to be a feather. Why do I have a cape? In the base game, you don't get the cape until, like, the second area. Yoshi's Island is all fire flower, it's familiar stuff, and then Donut Plains, you get the cape. Here comes the new stuff. Yoshi can eat many enemies, yeah. I suppose this is supposed to be training, basically. Yeah. So the landlord sent somebody out who's like a handyman to just sort of stick bricks in the back. But he didn't completely brick up the hole. So even ignoring the fact that it still didn't have the pipe so there would just be more chimney damage down the road. We also had the issue of there was still a gap. So, yeah, basically, her handyman put bricks in, and the furnace guy came out, and he was like, no, I still can't start this up. It's still not safe. And I'm like, okay, that's fair. So I had to tell her to contact a chimney company to get this thing installed. And about 2 weeks went by before they had a chimney company come out to do things, because there was rain, and they're like, we don't want to go on the roof when it's raining, which I completely understand. You know, weather is a thing. I get it. I wouldn't want to go up on the roof of a house in the rain either. But yeah, they eventually showed up. And they had all the stuff they needed to do the job. And they did the job yesterday. And then they had one more thing they needed to do today. So yesterday they tell me, alright, we should be good to go. You can just go ahead and call the furnace folks and get them to send a guy out. And, you know, he'll be able to start the furnace up. I'm like, alright, good to know. Let's do that. So we call the landlord, we tell them, you know, hey, give Irving a call. We should be good to go. The chimney folks told us that they were good to go. And, surprise, the tech showed up today, and he stepped downstairs, and he had one look at the furnace, and he said, oh no. Oh no, that's not good to go. And I was like, oh no, what did they do? So I step into the room and I have just one look, and I'm like, oh. Yeah, no, what the fuck happened? His head come off. Oh my gosh. Having trouble with Iggy. That's not supposed to happen. Yeah, luckily I can just start from that area at least. Yeah, so I go into the room, I have a look, and I recognize, oh yeah, no, that's, you can't start that up. They had put in the chimney liner, they had rebuilt basically a couple of sections of the chimney, and then they neglected to plug the furnace pipe into the chimney. So it was just, you had the furnace, you had the furnace exhaust, and then you just have open air, and then the brick wall for the chimney. It just wasn't plugged in. So yeah, the guy was like, I can't start that up, obviously. And I'm like, yeah, no, obviously you can't. I'm sorry, we called you out for this. Luckily, the chimney guys were coming back today because they still needed to put a rain cap on top of the chimney. You know that thing that keeps the rain from coming in? Yeah, we needed one of those. So we have one of those now, and I was able to flag them down and say, hey, by the way, no, get back in the basement, motherfucker. Finish your work. And they were like, oh, we thought Irving was going to do that. I'm like, why the fuck would Irving do that? The furnace guys, not chimney guys, come on. Ugh. Oh, but yeah, they did that. We got the guy to come back out from Irving, and he checked everything on the furnace. It's in working order. We're good. We're golden. It's handled. So I finally have heat again, and I finally was able to take, after 25 days, a warm shower. I was able to take a couple while I was, you know, over, like, on a weekend. I visited the girlfriend's mother, and she let us use their shower. after a parade of people wanted to use the bathroom first. Her grandmother waited until we got there to brush her teeth. She's like, oh, let me brush my teeth first. We're like, you could probably use the kitchen sink. Oh, no, I'm sure she doesn't want me spitting in the sink. I'm like, oh my god. Just run the water. Whatever. And I was able to use the shower at my mother's place when we visited her. But still, 25 days. 2 actual showers. We missed the running water, needless to say. I had a little solution. In order to keep warm, I was bringing a hot water bottle to bed with me and putting it under the blanket. And then, by the time I wake up, the bottle has cooled off sufficiently, but it's still warm, because the thing traps heat like nobody's business. It's still warm enough that I can use it to sort of rinse off. So basically I was scrubbing using water from the hot water bottle in the morning. And that had been my life for most of November. What a fucking nightmare. But yeah, that's a good place to leave off for now. I beat Yoshi's Island. Now Donut Plains is the place to go. Yeah. Only really noticed the one big difference so far. No, 2 differences. There's a pipe that I didn't see in the 3rd level. 3rd level? That sounds right. And also the fact that I got capes down there early. I'm not supposed to get capes yet. But yeah, this is where I'll leave off for now. Jump into Donut Plains next time. Thank you for tuning in. I have once again been your host, Joe, and I will see you next time.